I'm Jonathan Milam here today with a review of a brass cornet. This is a Connstellation. This is the 38B. It is a short cornet. This horn was made in Elkhart before the plant was moved to Abilene. And I will say, generally, the horns that were made in Elkhart, where Conn had maintained their plant for many years, making some of the finest brass instruments in the world. Some people are wary of the horns after the company moved to Abilene, where they were for the last few years before they were purchased by UMI, I believe it was. At any rate, I've had several Elkhart instruments, and each of them have been very good players. I've had a lot of Elkhart, early Elkhart, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. In the 60s, I believe, was when about 63 or 4, maybe the plant moved to Abilene, something like that. Had several of those horns, probably at least 3 or 4 great players. But this was made in Elkhart before the move. To some, that makes it more of an old vintage real Conn. But at any rate, in 61, when this horn was made, they were using a coprion bell, which was a process, I believe, where they literally spun copper over a mandrel. And I think they, at any rate, the coprion, the benefit is twofold. You get a warm tone, and you get a tone that projects. And those two are not always simultaneous. A lot of times a warm tone is a dead tone. It's a fluffy tone that stays close to home. But when you get a horn that is both warm and will project, you've got a great, great horn there. And that's one of the benefits of this vintage of Connstellation. Okay, some of the things that I've noticed as I've looked at Constellations, some of them have the undercarriage or the stop rod for the third slide. This one does not. This one does have the undercarriage for the first slide. And it does have the first valve trigger, which personally I really like. If I could have a trigger on the first and third slides, I'd be really happy. Valves on these are extremely durable and extremely heavy as well. I'm surprised, but I take the horn apart, take all the slides off, take the valves out to clean, and I was surprised how light this horn feels. Then when you get the valves back in, it's not a light horn anymore. A wonderful horn. Again, this is a Connstellation Cornet. It is the 38A. Unfortunately, at some point I have to quit talking, which is easy for me, and then I have to start playing, which is a challenge. I wish I was as talented as many of the great trumpeters that are on YouTube, and I wish that some of them that had a infinite knowledge, it seems, of brass instruments would share a little bit more of what they know. The world would be a better place. But at any rate, we'll try and give you an idea of what this sounds. This is with a large cornet mouthpiece. It's a Curry vintage, so it's a deep V cup with a very large throat. Should give a nice warm sound, and then we'll pull out a smaller piece and give you an idea what the horn would sound like with a more mainstream mouthpiece. Was that the angels singing? Maybe not, but this cornet does put out a nice tone. That's the coprion bell. And in the background, if you heard a little duet, I have a lovely Doberman that likes to sing along. Doesn't matter where he is, he wants to get in on the music. We'll have to make a YouTube duet video someday. All right, this is with a still a V cup, but a much shallower V, tighter backbore, to give you an idea of the ability to project with this horn. And to give you an idea of the upper register, we'll try and carry that same little motif up about half an octave. The upper register of this horn is really good. I've got another vintage Conn cornet close to the same age. Had one of them up to a G above high C. I think the cornet takes a little more discipline because it does have a smaller receiver area, but wonderful horns. As with most brass instruments of this type, the upper range is limited only by your ability. Hope you've enjoyed this wonderful little cornet. It is the Connstellation 38A. For more information, be sure and visit the Conn Loyalist, an absolutely splendid website with a lot of information. And again, as always, God bless.